Most men believe that as they age, their intimate lives inevitably shrink, and the only path forward is one of quiet decline. But what if I told you that for many men over 60, the very acts they engage in for pleasure or relief might be unknowingly sabotaging their vitality, their relationships, and even their physical health? What if the secrets to a vibrant and fulfilling intimate life in your later years aren't just about what you do, but about how you understand your body and your emotions? I'm Dr. Benjamin Carter, a urologist and men's health expert, and for over 2 decades, I've had the privilege of guiding men through the complexities of their physical and emotional well-being. Today, we're cutting through the silence and discomfort surrounding a topic that's often whispered about but rarely understood: masturbation after 60. My mission is to empower you with knowledge, to illuminate the subtle ways common practices can become counterproductive, and to offer clear, actionable pathways back to confidence and satisfaction. We're going to explore 7 common masturbation mistakes that older men often make, not out of malice, but out of a lack of awareness, and how these mistakes can silently harm your physical and emotional landscape. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I'll reveal a critically overlooked aspect of daily self-care that most men entirely miss, which profoundly influences not just your intimate health but your overall well-being. A simple adjustment that can unlock significant benefits. If you're ready to embrace a more informed, healthier, and ultimately more satisfying intimate life in your golden years, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. Your journey to better health begins with understanding, and I'm here to provide that guidance. Let's dive into the first mistake, one that often stems from a misconception about how our bodies change with age. Mistake 1. Overdoing it, the frequency and intensity trap. Many men, as they age, might find themselves in a pattern of increased frequency or intensity in masturbation, sometimes seeking to prove their continued virility or to compensate for perceived declines in partnered intimacy. This isn't about judgment. It's about understanding the subtle physiological shifts that occur in the male body after 60 and how overengagement can lead to silent harm. Physiological and emotional impact. As men age, the elasticity of penile tissues, the responsiveness of nerve endings, and the efficiency of the vascular system can subtly diminish. The recovery period after ejaculation, known as the refractory period, naturally lengthens. When masturbation becomes overly frequent or intensely forceful, it can put undue stress on these delicate structures. Physiologically, this can manifest as minor tissue damage, reduced sensitivity, and even desensitization, where the body requires more stimulation to achieve the same level of arousal and orgasm. Constant friction or vigorous technique can lead to microtraumas, inflammation, or contribute to conditions like Peyronie's disease, where fibrous scar tissue forms in the penis, causing curvature and pain. Furthermore, the body's natural response to repeated high-intensity stimulation can be to downregulate nerve sensitivity, making it harder to achieve pleasure or erection over time. Emotionally, an obsession with frequency can lead to a sense of performance anxiety, even in solitary moments. The pursuit of quantity over quality can breed frustration and a feeling of inadequacy if the desired results aren't met, leading to a vicious cycle of more intense effort for diminishing returns. This can foster a profound sense of isolation, a quiet despair that one's body is failing them, rather than recognizing it's a matter of adaptation. Patient story and societal context. I recall a patient, Arthur, a kind-hearted man in his late 60s. He came to me describing a growing numbness in his penis and a general dissatisfaction with his sexual experiences, both solitary and with his wife. He admitted he'd been masturbating daily, sometimes multiple times with significant vigor, because he felt less potent and believed more stimulation was the answer. He felt a deep sense of shame, thinking he was somehow broken. He shared how he felt societal pressure to remain sexually active, even if it was just through masturbation, as a marker of his masculinity, especially after some friends had discussed their own sexual activity. He saw the decline in his actual physical sensation as a personal failure, rather than a physiological response to overuse. The emotional toll was immense. He was withdrawing from his wife, fearing intimacy would highlight his perceived inadequacy. His body, which once brought him pleasure, now felt like a source of anxiety and disappointment. Actionable solutions. The key here is adaptation and mindfulness. 1. Reduce frequency and intensity. Instead of daily or multiple times a day, consider reducing to every 2 or 3 days, or even less, allowing your body ample time to recover and regenerate. When you do engage, prioritize gentle, non-abrasive techniques over vigorous ones. Think of it as a quality over quantity approach. 2. Explore different sensations. Move beyond a singular, forceful technique. Experiment with lighter touch, varied pressures, and different areas of stimulation to rediscover and resensitize nerve endings. This can help broaden your pleasure map and reduce reliance on high-intensity friction. 3. Mindful engagement. Approach masturbation as a mindful act of self-connection and pleasure, rather than a performance or a release of tension. Pay attention to the sensations, the journey, and the emotional connection to your body, rather than just the end goal. This shifts the focus from a purely physical act to a holistic experience. 4. Consider lubrication. Always use a good quality, water-based lubricant to reduce friction and prevent irritation, especially if you're experiencing any dryness or skin sensitivity. This is a simple step that significantly protects delicate tissues. Mistake 2. The loneliness of solitary pleasure, neglecting partnered intimacy. While masturbation is a healthy and natural part of human sexuality, a common mistake for older men can be allowing it to become the sole or primary outlet for sexual expression, particularly if they are in a committed relationship. This isn't about judging solitary acts, but about recognizing the potential for emotional and relational harm when it displaces or overshadows partnered intimacy. Physiological and emotional impact. Physiologically, there isn't a direct harm from masturbation itself in this context. However, the absence of partnered intimacy can have subtle physiological impacts. Lack of regular skin-to-skin contact and physical affection can decrease oxytocin release, a hormone crucial for bonding and stress reduction. For men, the act of shared intimacy, with its unique sensory inputs and emotional connection, stimulates different neural pathways and hormonal responses than solitary activity. Neglecting this can, over time, subtly affect overall well-being, reducing the body's capacity for connection. Emotionally, the reliance on solitary pleasure can lead to a profound sense of emotional isolation, even within a marriage or partnership. Partners may feel neglected, unwanted, or that their physical intimacy is no longer desired, leading to resentment and emotional distance. For the man, this can foster a quiet guilt, a feeling that he's failing his partner, or a deep sadness about the diminishing physical connection. It can also reinforce a belief that his body is only capable of solitary pleasure, further eroding his confidence in partnered settings. The unspoken pressures of aging, where men might believe their sexual worth diminishes, can make them retreat into solitary acts rather than face perceived challenges with a partner. Patient story and societal context. My patient, Robert, a dignified man of 72, shared with me his increasing reliance on masturbation. His wife, Clara, had experienced some health challenges, and he, out of a misguided sense of chivalry and fear of causing her discomfort, had stopped initiating intimacy. He felt it was his duty to take care of himself, silently. While he felt a physical release, he also carried a heavy burden of loneliness and guilt. He admitted that his wife rarely touched him, and he often felt isolated in their shared home. He saw the societal narrative that old people don't have sex as an unspoken permission to withdraw, even though he secretly yearned for closeness. The emotional distance grew, and he confessed that while he was physically satisfied, his heart felt increasingly empty. His wife, when I discreetly spoke to her with his permission, expressed her deep sadness, feeling undesirable and disconnected. She didn't mind his masturbation, she just wished he'd still reach for her. Actionable solutions. 1. Open communication. This is the most crucial step. Have an honest, gentle conversation with your partner about your intimate needs and desires, and inquire about theirs. Express any fears or concerns you have about intimacy in the context of aging or health changes. This breaks down assumptions and builds bridges. 2. Redefine intimacy. Recognize that intimacy isn't solely about penetrative sex. It encompasses holding hands, cuddling, kissing, shared baths, massage, and simply being physically present and affectionate with each other. Explore new ways to connect physically and emotionally that are comfortable and pleasurable for both of you. 3. Prioritize shared experience. Make an intentional effort to prioritize shared intimate moments. This could be scheduling cuddle time, a weekly intimacy night that might involve only touch and conversation, or simply creating more moments for physical affection throughout the day. 4. Seek professional guidance. If communication is difficult or if underlying physical issues are impacting partnered intimacy, consider couples counseling or sex therapy. A professional can provide a safe space and tools to navigate these sensitive conversations and find solutions. Remember, true intimacy thrives on connection, not just release. Mistake 3. The harsh habits, improper technique, and tools. This mistake often goes unaddressed because men might not realize the long-term damage that can stem from aggressive or repetitive techniques, or the use of inappropriate materials during masturbation. The body changes with age, and what might have been harmless in youth can become detrimental after 60. Physiological and emotional impact. Physiologically, using overly aggressive techniques, such as strong gripping, excessive friction, or repetitive movements in a limited area, can lead to a range of issues. The penile tissue and skin become thinner and less elastic with age, making them more susceptible to micro-tears, irritation, and even chronic nerve damage. This can result in reduced sensitivity, persistent pain, or altered sensation during both masturbation and partnered sex. Conditions like friction burns or chafing are common. More seriously, excessive force can contribute to the development or worsening of Peyronie's disease, where internal scarring leads to penile curvature, pain, and sometimes erectile dysfunction. The use of abrasive materials or non-lubricated surfaces can exacerbate these issues, causing skin abrasions, infections, or even urethral irritation if foreign objects are used. Emotionally, living with chronic discomfort or reduced sensation can be deeply frustrating. The very act meant for pleasure can become a source of physical pain or psychological disappointment, leading to anxiety about one's body's ability to experience pleasure. This can create a cycle of shame and avoidance, where men might stop seeking intimacy altogether due to fear of discomfort or further damage. There's also the silent burden of not knowing why it hurts, often leading to self-blame. Patient story and societal context. I remember Frank, a 68-year-old gentleman who came to me with persistent penile pain and a noticeable curvature. He was visibly distressed and embarrassed. He admitted to a lifelong habit of very vigorous masturbation, using a dry hand or sometimes even rough fabrics, believing it was the only way to achieve sufficient stimulation. He confided that he'd been doing it for so long, he didn't even consider it could be harmful. He felt societal pressures to maintain a certain level of sexual performance, even alone, and had internalized a belief that more force meant more pleasure. He was shocked to learn that his habits had contributed to developing Peyronie's disease, which was now causing significant pain and impacting his ability to have intercourse with his wife. He felt a profound sense of regret and bewilderment, wishing he had known earlier that gentler methods were not only safer, but could be more pleasurable in the long run. His emotional journey was one of moving from self-blame to a deeper understanding of his body's needs. Actionable solutions. 1. Prioritize lubrication. Always use a generous amount of water-based or silicone-based lubricant. This is non-negotiable. It drastically reduces friction, prevents skin irritation, and protects delicate tissues from micro-traumas. 2. Gentle touch. Adopt a gentler approach. Instead of a tight grip or forceful strokes, explore lighter, more varied touches. Think about stimulating different areas of the penis and surrounding regions, rather than focusing solely on intense friction on one spot. 3. Vary your technique. Avoid repetitive machine-like movements. Experiment with slower, more deliberate strokes, different pressures, and varying rhythms. This can enhance sensation and prevent localized stress on tissues. 4. Choose appropriate tools. If you use sex toys, ensure they are made of body-safe materials, like medical-grade silicone, and are used with plenty of lubricant. Avoid anything that feels abrasive, too tight, or can cause excessive suction or strain. 5. Listen to your body. Pay close attention to any discomfort, pain, or changes in sensation. If something hurts, stop. Persistent pain warrants a visit to your urologist to rule out underlying issues. Your body is giving you crucial feedback. Learn to interpret it. Mistake 4. Ignoring the warning signs, pain, and discomfort. This mistake is perhaps the most dangerous because it involves overlooking your body's critical messages. Many men after 60 often rationalize pain or discomfort during or after masturbation as just a part of aging or something to be endured in silence. This can lead to delayed diagnosis and treatment of serious underlying conditions. Physiological and emotional impact. Physiologically, ignoring pain or discomfort is akin to ignoring a smoke alarm. Pain is your body's way of signaling that something is wrong. In the context of masturbation, pain could indicate a range of issues: prostate problems. Discomfort, burning, or pain during or after ejaculation can be a symptom of prostatitis, inflammation of the prostate, benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or less commonly, prostate cancer. Urinary tract infections, UTIs. Although more common in women, men can get UTIs, and painful ejaculation can be a symptom. Sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Even in older age, new relationships can introduce STI risks, and some STIs can cause pain or discomfort during ejaculation. Physical injury. As discussed, aggressive techniques can cause microtears, nerve damage, or contribute to Peyronie's disease. Testicular issues. Pain radiating to the testicles could indicate epididymitis, orchitis, or other testicular pathology. Urethral strictures. Narrowing of the urethra can cause pain and difficulty with ejaculation. Emotionally, ignoring these warning signs can create a significant burden of anxiety and fear. The man might avoid masturbation or partnered intimacy altogether, leading to a sense of loss and isolation. The constant presence of discomfort can diminish overall quality of life, impacting mood, sleep, and general well-being. There's often a deep-seated fear of what the pain might mean, coupled with an avoidance of seeking help due to embarrassment or a stoic male mindset that men don't complain about these things. This stoicism, while often seen as a virtue, can be a profound barrier to health. Patient story and societal context. Edward, a man in his early 70s, had been experiencing a dull ache in his perineum and a burning sensation during ejaculation for nearly a year. He attributed it to just getting old and wear and tear. He quietly stopped masturbating and became withdrawn from his wife, fearing intimacy would exacerbate the pain or reveal his weakness. He'd been raised with the belief that men handle their pain in silence, and that discussing anything below the belt was taboo. This societal pressure, combined with his own internal stoicism, led him to suffer in silence. When his wife finally noticed his withdrawal and gently urged him to see me, we discovered he had chronic prostatitis, an inflammation of the prostate gland. While not life-threatening, it was causing him significant discomfort and emotional distress. His wife, after learning the truth, was deeply saddened that he had endured it alone for so long. Edward's story is a powerful reminder of how our cultural conditioning can prevent us from seeking timely help for treatable conditions. Actionable solutions. 1. Do not self-diagnose or ignore. Any persistent pain, burning, unusual discharge, or changes in sensation during or after masturbation warrants medical attention. Do not dismiss it as just age. 2. Consult your urologist. Schedule an appointment with a urologist immediately. Be honest and detailed about your symptoms, including when they started, their intensity, and any associated factors. This information is crucial for accurate diagnosis. 3. Track your symptoms. Before your appointment, keep a brief journal of your symptoms. Note the type of pain, its location, duration, and any factors that seem to worsen or alleviate it. This helps your doctor immensely. 4. Understand the importance of early detection. Many conditions, like prostate issues or even certain cancers, are far more treatable when caught early. Ignoring symptoms can lead to more complex and challenging treatments later. Prioritizing your health isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Mistake 5. The mental block, shame, guilt, and misinformation. Beyond the physical aspects, one of the most insidious mistakes older men make is allowing societal misconceptions, personal shame, or outdated beliefs about sexuality to dictate their intimate lives. This mental block can severely impact emotional well-being and the natural expression of sexuality. Physiological and emotional impact. Physiologically, chronic psychological stress, shame, or guilt can manifest physically. The mind-body connection is powerful. Suppressed desires or anxieties about sexuality can lead to increased cortisol levels, affecting overall hormone balance, sleep quality, and even immune function. For sexual function specifically, performance anxiety stemming from shame can contribute to erectile difficulties or reduced libido, even when there's no underlying physical issue. The pelvic floor muscles can also tense up in response to stress, potentially leading to discomfort or dysfunction. Emotionally, shame and guilt are incredibly corrosive. They can lead to a profound sense of isolation, preventing men from discussing their intimate lives with partners, friends, or even medical professionals. This internal repression can foster depression, anxiety, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Men might internalize the myth that sexual desire in older age is dirty, inappropriate, or pathetic, leading them to suppress natural urges, which then creates a cycle of self-condemnation. This emotional burden can overshadow any physical pleasure derived from masturbation, turning an act of self-care into a source of inner turmoil. It can also lead to a quiet despair, a feeling that one's sexual identity is somehow invalid or in decline simply due to age. Patient story and societal context. George, a retired schoolteacher in his late 60s, came to me not for a physical complaint, but for a profound sense of sadness. He confessed he felt wrong for still having sexual desires and for masturbating. He'd been raised in a conservative environment where sexuality was rarely discussed, and certainly not in the context of aging. He felt a deep sense of guilt each time, believing it was somehow unnatural or a sign of moral failing at his age. He often heard jokes about older men being past it, or comments about how sexual desire was only for the young. These societal messages had deeply ingrained themselves, causing him immense emotional distress. He was withdrawing from social activities, feeling that his secret made him a hypocrite. We spent several sessions discussing the normalcy and health of sexuality throughout life, emphasizing that desire does not have an expiration date. His journey involved dismantling decades of internalized shame, a process that was far more challenging than any physical treatment. He needed permission, not from me but from himself, to embrace his natural desires without judgment. Actionable solutions. 1. Educate yourself. Learn about the normalcy of sexuality throughout the lifespan. Understand that sexual desire and activity are natural aspects of human experience, regardless of age. Dispel myths by seeking accurate information from reputable sources. 2. Challenge internalized shame. Recognize that shame and guilt are often learned responses. Actively challenge negative self-talk and beliefs about your sexuality. Remind yourself that desiring pleasure and intimacy is a healthy human trait. 3. Seek validation and support. If possible, discuss these feelings with a trusted partner, friend, or therapist. Sometimes, simply vocalizing these unspoken fears can begin to dismantle them. A therapist specializing in sexual health can provide invaluable guidance and a safe space for exploration. 4. Reframe masturbation as self-care. View masturbation not as a shameful secret, but as a legitimate form of self-care, stress relief, and pleasure. It's a way to connect with your body and understand your own desires, free from external pressures. It's about self-love, not self-condemnation. Your sexual vitality is a part of your overall well-being, and it deserves to be nurtured, not suppressed. Mistake 6. The sedentary session, neglecting holistic health. This mistake isn't about the act of masturbation itself, but about how it fits into the broader context of a man's overall health and lifestyle. Many men over 60 focus on specific fixes for sexual function, but overlook how neglecting their holistic health, diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, silently undermines their intimate experiences. Masturbation might provide temporary relief, but it cannot compensate for a body that isn't nourished or active. Physiological and emotional impact. Physiologically, a sedentary lifestyle, poor diet, inadequate sleep, and chronic stress are direct antagonists to optimal sexual function. Cardiovascular health. Erections are fundamentally a vascular event. A sedentary lifestyle and poor diet contribute to atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. which reduces blood flow not only to the heart but also to the penis, leading to erectile dysfunction, ED. No amount of masturbation can overcome this. Hormonal balance. Lack of physical activity, poor sleep, and high stress can disrupt hormone production, particularly testosterone, which is crucial for libido, energy, and overall vitality. Nerve function. Conditions like diabetes, often linked to poor lifestyle, can cause nerve damage, neuropathy, that impairs sensation and erectile response. Pelvic floor health. A lack of exercise can lead to weak pelvic floor muscles, which are vital for erectile rigidity, ejaculatory control, and bladder health. Energy levels. Overall fatigue from poor lifestyle choices can significantly reduce sexual desire and the enjoyment of any intimate activity. Emotionally, feeling constantly tired, sluggish, or carrying excess weight due to a sedentary lifestyle can deeply impact a man's self-image and confidence. This can lead to a sense of apathy towards intimacy, a feeling of being too tired or too out of shape. The satisfaction derived from masturbation might feel hollow if the underlying body is not robust. There's a subtle but pervasive feeling that one's body is letting them down, leading to frustration and disengagement. Societal pressures often highlight physical fitness, but for older men, the link between general health and sexual health is often overlooked, creating a blind spot. Patient story and societal context. My patient, David, a man in his early 60s, was frustrated because his masturbation experiences felt increasingly lackluster, and his erections weren't as firm as they used to be. He was convinced it was solely an age-related issue and was looking for a quick fix for his sexual function. During our consultation, I learned that David worked a desk job, rarely exercised, ate a diet rich in processed foods, and struggled with sleep apnea. He often felt exhausted and stressed. He couldn't understand why his sexual health wasn't improving despite his efforts to masturbate regularly. He had internalized the idea that sexual function was a separate domain from general health, a common misconception. We discussed how his chronic inflammation, poor circulation, and low energy due to his lifestyle were directly impacting his sexual response. He shared that he felt society often encouraged men to power through issues, rather than look at the root causes. His emotional journey was one of realization, that his body was an interconnected system, and neglecting one part affected all others. Actionable solutions. 1. Prioritize regular exercise. Incorporate a blend of cardiovascular exercise, brisk walking, swimming, strength training, bodyweight exercises, light weights, and flexibility, stretching, yoga. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio per week, plus 2 days of strength training. This improves circulation, testosterone levels, and energy. 2. Adopt a nutrient-rich diet. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Emphasize fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats, avocados, nuts, olive oil. Limit processed sugars, unhealthy fats, and excessive red meat. A healthy diet supports vascular health and reduces inflammation, crucial for erections. 3. Optimize sleep. Aim for 7-9 hours of quality sleep per night. Establish a consistent sleep schedule, create a relaxing bedtime routine, and ensure your sleep environment is dark and quiet. Good sleep is vital for hormone regulation, energy, and cognitive function. 4. Manage stress. Implement stress reduction techniques such as mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies. Chronic stress is a significant drain on overall health and sexual vitality. 5. Strengthen your pelvic floor. Learn and practice Kegel exercises. These strengthen the muscles that support erectile function and ejaculatory control. A strong pelvic floor contributes significantly to pleasure and control. Remember, masturbation is best enjoyed in a body that feels strong, vibrant, and well cared for. Mistake 7. The hydration highway, overlooking the simple yet profound. This might seem like a minor point, but it's one of the most overlooked yet fundamentally impactful mistakes older men make. Inadequate hydration. Many men simply don't drink enough water, and this silent deficiency can subtly undermine various bodily functions, including those related to intimate health and the quality of masturbation. Physiological and emotional impact. Physiologically, adequate hydration is fundamental to virtually every bodily process, and its deficiency can manifest in unexpected ways related to intimate health. Circulation. Proper hydration maintains blood volume and viscosity. Dehydration thickens the blood, making it harder for the cardiovascular system to deliver oxygen and nutrients efficiently, including to the penis for optimal erectile function. This can make erections less firm or responsive. Semen volume and quality. Seminal fluid is primarily water. Chronic dehydration can lead to reduced semen volume, which might impact the physical sensation of ejaculation and the overall experience of climax. While not directly harmful, it can diminish satisfaction, energy levels, and mood. Even mild dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and irritability. These low energy levels and a suboptimal mood can significantly dampen libido and the desire for any intimate activity, including masturbation, making the experience feel less pleasurable or even a chore. Prostate health. While the link isn't direct for all prostate issues, sufficient fluid intake helps flush the urinary system, potentially reducing the risk of urinary tract infections that can indirectly affect prostate health and ejaculatory comfort. Skin and mucosa. Dehydration affects skin elasticity and mucosal health. Dryness can make the penile skin more susceptible to irritation or chafing during masturbation, especially in conjunction with the harsh habits mistake. Emotionally, the subtle drag of chronic low-level dehydration, the persistent slight fatigue, the dull headache, the feeling of not being quite right, can contribute to a general sense of malaise. This can lead to a lower baseline of emotional well-being, making it harder to engage fully and joyfully in any activity, including masturbation. It's a silent drain on vitality that can leave a man feeling less vibrant and less connected to his body's potential for pleasure. The impact isn't dramatic, but it's a constant, low-level erosion of optimal function. Patient story and societal context. Mark, a spry 75-year-old, came to me concerned about decreasing semen volume and a general feeling of sluggishness. He was otherwise active and healthy. When I asked about his daily fluid intake, he shrugged and said he mostly drank coffee and a glass of juice. He rarely drank plain water. He, like many men, didn't connect his general hydration habits with his intimate health. He saw performance as a separate, isolated issue. He didn't realize that the subtle energy drain and thickened blood from inadequate water intake were quietly impacting his erectile quality and ejaculatory experience. He also felt that real men didn't need to constantly carry water bottles. This subtle societal perception that hydration is for athletes or the overly health-conscious often leads men to overlook this simple yet powerful health habit. Once he started drinking sufficient water, he noticed a significant improvement in his energy, his overall feeling of well-being, and a return to more satisfying ejaculations. It was a revelation for him that such a simple change could have such a profound effect. Actionable solutions. 1. Drink water consistently. Aim for at least 8-10 glasses, about 2-3 liters of plain water daily. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst is already a sign of mild dehydration. 2. Start your day hydrated. Drink a large glass of water first thing in the morning to rehydrate after sleep. 3. Carry a water bottle. Keep a reusable water bottle with you throughout the day as a constant reminder to sip. 4. Incorporate hydrating foods. Eat water-rich fruits and vegetables like watermelon, cucumbers, oranges, and berries. 5. Limit dehydrating beverages. Reduce consumption of excessive caffeine and alcohol, which can have diuretic effects and contribute to dehydration. Consider unsweetened herbal teas as alternatives. This simple habit supports your entire system, including your intimate health, laying a fundamental groundwork for vitality. You've just walked through 7 critical insights into how subtle mistakes in your approach to masturbation and overall health can silently undermine your well-being after 60. This isn't about judgment, it's about empowerment. By understanding these pitfalls and implementing the actionable solutions we've discussed, you're not just managing a condition. You're actively building a stronger, healthier, more fulfilling future for yourself. Imagine waking up feeling more energized, more connected to your body, and more confident in your intimate life. This isn't a pipe dream. It's the transformative power of informed self-care. My patients often report not just physical improvements in erectile quality or sensation, but also a profound boost in self-esteem, renewed marital intimacy, and a rediscovered zest for life. The changes you make today will ripple into every tomorrow, bringing greater joy, peace of mind, and a sense of reclaiming control over your body and your life, regardless of age. And now, for that critically overlooked aspect of daily self-care that most men entirely miss, which profoundly influences not just your intimate health, but your overall well-being. It's something you do or don't do every single day, often without a second thought. I'm talking about the profound impact of pelvic floor awareness and subtle daily postural habits on your long-term intimate health. Most men are completely unaware that their slouching posture, prolonged sitting, or simply never engaging their pelvic floor muscles except during urination, can silently yet powerfully influence their erectile health, prostate comfort, and ejaculatory control. A weak or overly tight pelvic floor due to poor posture or inactivity affects blood flow, nerve function, and muscular support in the entire pelvic region. It sounds trivial, but the science is clear and compelling. A mindful connection to and regular, gentle engagement of your pelvic floor throughout the day, not just during Kegel exercises, can dramatically improve vascular health in the penis, support prostate health, and enhance sensation and control long after you've learned the correct way to masturbate. It's the silent anchor that supports everything else. If this video helped you understand your body better and empowered you with new strategies for health, please share it with another man who desperately needs to hear this message. Let's break the silence surrounding men's health together. Your health journey is a shared one, and by engaging, you empower not just yourself, but countless others. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I'll be sharing more doctor-backed advice made especially for men like you. Leave a comment below and let me know which of these insights resonated most with you, or if you have a question. I read every comment, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. You've taken the first crucial step towards reclaiming your vitality and confidence. Now, keep going. Your best years are still ahead, and you absolutely deserve every one of them to be full of health, strength, and profound satisfaction.